What's up YouTube, this is Slaan here from Northern Land again. It's been a little while since the last video, but today we're going to go back into Project Slaanhatten, and this time I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to get the server set up, or how to get the hub set up, sorry, on a dedicated server. What I'm quickly going to show you is now, this is the virtual machine that Big C kindly set aside for me to mess around on, and what we are looking at is the server config XML here. And all I wanted to show you is the section that's highlighted is the game name. This is with seed for the dedicated server, and a little bit later on this is the seed I'm going to use in the single player game as well, which you'll see. But this was just to show you the document itself, so you know, if you're unfamiliar with the server side of things, exactly what you're modifying. You'll find the server config XML in the main 7 days to lie installation. And secondly, on this little screen here we have the pre-steps that I've done already, just so that you don't have to wait for things to copy backwards and forwards between the through the remote connection, because it can take a little while with some of the zip files that I've got there. But basically I have the region files, which I'll tell you about later on, already copied over and extracted. I have the latest version of the combo pack and the latest version of the project itself. So these have already been done and put to one side, so later on in the tutorial when we get to those parts I've got them there ready for you to use. So without much ado, I'll get rid of that, we'll go back into the game. And what I've basically done is we've just set the dedicated server up. It's not actually been connected to yet, but it is running there now. So I'm just going to dive into that. There's been a bit of a bug with the hub itself. A local multiplayer and dedicated server specifically are an absolute nightmare at the minute. There's a crazy desync bug going on, and basically once it pops up it requires a client restart, and it's generally rather annoying. It slipped through my fingers because I do a lot of my testing in single player, and pushing the project out a little bit quickly and probably a little bit too early, the first version that is, was a little bit rushed, so I've been a bit more thorough this time and we'll have a working sort of method to get it done. But the first thing you're going to do is, when you turn your dedicated server on, is connect just like I've done. We're going to DM and go straight to 00, as that's where the hub's located. And what we're expecting to happen, if not instantly, when it eventually decides to load up, is the desync bug to hit us straight away in the face, and it might have already done that. No, it hasn't. I don't know why this is taking forever. At last. Right, now where? Right. Sorry, I've got the offset set a little bit different. That didn't appear where I expected to do there. So once the server's up and running, what we're going to do is I don't think you need to actually explore much of the place, but I will anyway, and we'll try and capture the bug as it happens, because usually this would be 00, and by the time the game's loaded the surrounding area, and on most seeds the console bug would have popped up already. This is usually a good direction to head in. I'm not going to talk about the new stuff that's here already in the project, I'll save that for another video. Is this going to be the first seed ever that doesn't cause the bug? We're still... The triangle errors like you see popping up, I think are related to the crazy little voxel glitches and little regions like that that are missing. And still no desync bug. I spent all this time fretting over things not working properly, and when I eventually get around to doing a tutorial showing people how to fix the problem, it doesn't happen. Now I think it might be more influenced to how much of the landscape the hub cuts out. I'm not too sure what the ground level of this one is. It should be about 50 or 60. 69. So the hub itself, all the tall buildings when they're generating, probably aren't clipping through many hills and what have you in this area. I don't actually believe I've made it this far around. I've usually been kicked long before now. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Instead of turning this into the tour of the version 0.3 edition, I'm just going to pretend the console's popped open, we've got a horrible error, your cursor's disappeared, and the game is generally broken. So what we would do is quit and usually have to restart the client. What I'm going to do is, using the same seed name, because this is the actual fix itself now, using the same seed name we're going to generate a single player game. Now I've already done this and I've already explored the map, which is going to be the next step on our new games. So I'm going to continue the game that I've already had set up. As I mentioned earlier, I've done all this beforehand just to save a bit of time on the recording. But once you get into the single player game, the idea is we have exactly the same mixer on exactly the same seed, so we should be generating exactly the same map. Now I've never tested it with the offsets being changed, so that might make a little bit of difference. I don't think it should. But what you basically want to do is, after you've had the error and you come into your single player game, is DM, get back to the hub, and we are going to... Oh, God damn that bug. And what we want to do is explore the full hub. Make sure you get all of these connecting roads in particular make sure you get these areas where the road itself connects to the random gen road grid. And once all that's explored, no fog left on the map in the playable area whatsoever, we will simply come out of that. And next we want to be going, if I put the other capture on, we'll get rid of that. We go into a random gen and we'll find the save, and then we want to find the region folder. Now what I've done is I just zipped it up and then I copied that over to the dedicated server, which we'll see now. So that's them there, and all these regions are basically the areas that we've just explored in the single player game. So I'm just going to copy that, and then on the server itself we are going to find where the server saves the games, and there's the game we've just created, there's the region folder, and we are just going to get rid of that one and paste the single player regions into there. I don't think you have to delete the map, but I'll get rid of that anyway. And then I'm just going to stop the server, and then we'll fire that back up. Now it's going to be slightly hard because I never actually got the error to show you at the beginning, but where's it gone? There we go. And yes, I don't have FrontRunner Text Server Manager on the test. Well, we do, but it's largely out of date, but I don't particularly need it for this anyway, so... Right, so to summarise, we've been through the multiplayer game on the dedicated server just basically to set the save game folder up with the regions in. We then transferred the seed over to a single player game, and we transferred the seed over to a single player game, and then loaded the world up, fully explored the hub. Then we've shut the single player game down, went into the single player save folder and copied the region files over into the multiplayer save on the dedicated server, and we've just fired the dedicated server back up. So if I go back onto there now ideally, like I say, as soon as most seeds, when I get onto the dedicated server without doing the fix, it will pop the desync error up more or less straight away. It's offset plus count. If you've been following the forum thread, it's all mentioned on there. But then hopefully the server itself won't have to actually generate the world. It'll already be there through the region files, and we should be able to just zip around. So the main things I'll check is that the hub itself is connecting to the random gen road grid, but other than that, we should be good to go. So I'll just give myself DM again, fix the map before it breaks. Now, if anybody's actually used this before and tried to do a local multiplayer or dedicated server, You'll probably know how fickle the seeds can be. Oh, and look at that. We'll remove that before version 0.3 gets released. And I'm just going to right click over here. So this is where the road's connecting to random gen. And as you can see, that goes off. These connector roads have made the whole hub a lot more. I know these steps are still a bit annoying, but that's the pimp's jurisdiction, not mine. We'll whinge to Madmore a little bit about that. That one's okay. I'll just check the east and west roads as well. And hopefully... I think, to be honest, I've just got a seed that's working particularly well. Most seeds don't play this nice. Like I say, it's very rare that I get very far on a dedicated server before that bug pops up. But as you can see, other than the triangle sort of errors, which I don't think there's any chance of getting rid of them anytime soon, everything else seems perfectly fine. So at long last, the hub that was designed for a dedicated server actually works on a dedicated server. I think this should be the connecting road. Yeah, so as you can see, copying the region files over, as long as the single player seed and the dedicated server seed are the same and the mixers are the same, it seems to produce perfectly fine results. Where we're going south. Didn't go far enough. Now this is the map correcting itself, which looks rather weird. And I think what it is the region file, the mixer, sorry, when I've done the single player game, might have had the offset set as 0, and the server XML might have had the offset as 0.2. I'll have to double check those before I go on. So that looks a little bit fucked up, but like I say, the map usually fixes itself after. I certainly am not standing there. Yeah, there we go. So other than the map shenanigans, as you can see, there's no errors. I wish I had got the error in the very beginning now, but hopefully if you are seeing the error pop up, this is going to help you out a lot, because I never actually realised, because of the way I'd done my testing, that the dedicated server situation was as bad as what it was. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit and helped me a lot, and I look forward to hearing from you and telling us that everything's working fine. And the next bits of feedback I want to hear is, we need more buildings, or we need this or that, not please fix this, because I've wasted a lot of time messing around with stuff when I could have been building. So I'm going to cut the video now. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, comment if there's anything else you need to know, if there's anything else that I've missed or that you can think of that I haven't. Give us a shout in the comments, jump onto the forums, catch her on the Facebook group. The next version of the project should be out over the next few days. There's a lot more links and stuff like that in the readmes in there, and there's a full written instruction on what we've just been through today. And I think I've covered it all. So this is Slaan signing out, and I'll see you next time.